So we're Isogriv. What we do is we make machine learning accessible. Travis, you can go to the next slide here. And the problem we're solving for is the fact that we live in a time where machine learning technology, artificial intelligence technology is really groundbreaking and powerful, but people can't use it. And the primary reason they can't use it is because either they can't code or they don't understand how the probabilities work, things like that. So there are a lot of ways that individuals, businesses, and decision makers at companies could be making better decisions, kind of leveraging that technology, but they just aren't. So our solution was to make an accessible, no-code platform. We call it a decision atlas, so it's like a guide in your decision making. So you can go to the next slide. And here's that problem just kind of condensed. Essentially, right now, if you're going to use machine learning, you need developers, you need a data science team. It's a whole big, long process, and you might even not know what you're looking for. Our solution just puts it right in your face, gives you the answers you need, and helps you make actionable decisions when you need them. So you can go to the next slide. Our products right now, we're focusing on two different areas within the legal field, because these happen to be areas that really lend themselves to NLP and users that are already interested in leveraging machine learning and AI. The two verticals we focus on right now are patents and mergers, and the two markets we're targeting are hedge funds and law firms. You can go to the next slide. So our solutions right now, out of the box, that are on the market are 78% accurate, which is versus like a coin flip. What we're doing is 78% accuracy on predicting an outcome like a patent challenge, a current litigation, a merger breaking. We're into a specialist area called CFIUS, where you're just determining if there's a national security risk there. As far as the simpler, we're no code needed, so anybody can use it. Any lawyer, anybody with familiarity with the subject matter can use it, and they're going to see the value faster. The current processes and solutions we're solving for take about 3 hours to even a month to do. They can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to get an analysis of litigation, to get things like that done. And some of our users just want a quick take on what's happening for a certain situation. We get that to them in about 30 seconds after a filing, and we can kind of get into the technology on that later. The market and the TAM that we see right now is around $36.1 billion, because we're including in that both hedge fund research spend as well as law firm spend. As an example, a typical patent litigation can cost up to $1 million, can start around $1 million for a large white shoe law firm. So this is kind of a drop in the bucket for our platform. You can go next slide. Our team, myself, I have a background working at a SaaS company called Reorg Research, where I developed their growth products and ran product on a equity research type platform. Travis worked with me there as a data wrangler and kind of in data science, where we kind of got the idea of ways that we could enhance these workflows. Lucia, she's our director of research, so she's really the one finding out what the key metrics are for stakeholders. Then we've got Ahmed, who runs data science, machine learning, and is a full stack developer. As far as the technology goes, just in our core products right now, we're looking at over 756 billion different data points that go into our probabilities and our recommendations. We use all of the most advanced forms of machine learning. We just do it in a way where you don't need to know how to code. You can go to the next slide. So our traction currently, we're expecting to pick up revenue around beginning to mid-December. We're expecting that to be about $100,000 for our first contract. We launched in July. We've been in QC FinTech here for August, September, October. So we're kind of on a quick growth path. And that's going to be the end of the presentation. I'll open up to questions.
Great, thanks, Nils. Yeah, Mark, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, Niels, thanks for the pitch. I mean, 3 minutes, first of all, never went so fast. So yeah, these comments are probably going to just be more pointed towards whatever you want to call the super fast format, but whether it's 3 or 5 or 7 minutes, it's probably a limited use case. But I try to always kind of throw some of this in, because the pitch breakfast experience might or might not be the majority of the pitches you give, but it's some in certain terms. Sometimes the first that kind of quick touch base with somebody to get the second pitch, which would be the hour to 2 hour meeting. But so my comments were more on, first off, like good job getting through that in 3 minutes. I think I get it. We actually run a fund, we run it like a hedge fund. So I kind of have seen other approaches out there. I would just refocus maybe on ordering in this short order format, this 2 to 7 minute format. I think getting to the example a lot quicker is going to be helpful. This is a highly abstracted end market, or an application, excuse me, in an end market.
Right.
So it's like, here's the example in legal. Here's why it matters. So first point is example with the legal. Then I just talk about the addressable market, show that it's big, talk about your traction, hit your team, and then just get to the so what, which is kind of the ask. So
Right.
like example, legal, total addressable market and legal, here's why we're there. Oh, by the way, we've got tons of good traction right now. Warburg Pincus flashed up there, QC FinTech. Here's my team, super qualified. And yeah, we're looking to raise $500,000 in a seed to kind of launch out of QC FinTech and take to the next level. And then,
Gotcha.
if that were the 5 to 7 minutes you and I had virtually, or, let's assume in a post-COVID world, we're standing outside of one of those rooms at a convention center where everyone's pitching and stuff. I just have 5 to 7 minutes to hang out over a cup of coffee. Like that's kind of your out of the back pocket 5 to 7 minute version. But that's just kind of my initial reaction. But yeah, I'm definitely I'm thinking more about just kind of getting the investor hooked quickly, and just getting that narrative set as to like why we should meet for 2 hours or an hour next week or the week after, kind of thing. But yeah,
Sure.
pretty cool concept. And yeah, congratulations on getting everyone together. That's a pretty cool it's a cool idea. So I'm interested in hearing more.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Garth, what do you think?
Well, thanks, Mark. You now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, that is a great way to order it. Because yeah, the 3 minutes is really fast. And and I know I feel like I say this all the time, but you did a reasonably good job. There was a little bit of shoving some stuff in the end, which is, it's just not necessary. People can't process it. And so yes, I would, in order to concentrate a lot of the information quickly, I would go right to the example. I
Okay.
would lose that slide where you have the kind of classic intersection of users and data scientists and developers.
hmm
It's
And just go to
like a general way to describe a very complex thing, and you don't have time to go after that 3 minutes. I would choose one of the use cases. In this case, you chose the legal one. It's great. It's like, this is what these companies spend on this. So our 40,000. I got it in the end. I was kind of like, what's the product? Is it a services offering? So just maybe slipping that in.
Okay.
You could have put it in that sentence where you're like, a legal patent challenge is $1 million. So 40,000 for our package, of software and or whatever it is, subscription fee, is a no brainer. Again, overall, I think you did a really good job of getting the information that was required out. Maybe just because what I'm always looking for, whether it's 3 minutes or 8 minutes or 20 minutes, I'm looking for who are you? Who is this? That's going after? What is the market? Where's the money? From a realistic point of view. It's like, whenever I see the $36 billion market, that we can address, you're like, really? It's like, all the four of you, but I get it. You've got to have potential, but just a tiny bit about why the four of you, it's which I think you have that, or maybe another name that's sort of behind you, which I think it might have been in there, but again, 3 minutes is tough. You did a great job.
Yeah, just to pile on to that point, I think Garth used a word that's probably more apt here, which is like, the example is really like a problem statement. Like, hey, in the legal field around patents, like the typical law firm in a year will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars doing X. Our platform allows them to do that a lot quicker, faster, better for less than X. And now I'm kind of like, okay, I see value prop, and then like hooking the value proposition to the market is probably just the more intuitive way to get your kind of first read audience on a track with you. And then it's like, I agree, you just got to keep it tight, because it's, again, the highly abstracted, like applied technology idea like this. You used I think you used a phrase called, you used the words no code platform, like that actually kind of seemed catchy to me. I was like, okay, I get it now. So it's always hard to judge the kind of technological kind of prowess level of your audience, right? It's like,
right.
I used to do tech investing in the late 90s, where when XML and things were starting to happen, like people were building these tools to like automate and parse and bring kind of machines to the table. And I think machine learning or AI has the same problem, where it's like, you say it and anyone who's marginally, informed on it is going to have like a really wide berth as to what they might assume you are doing or not doing. So
right.
I like the problem statement, and then value prop market, and then it's all good. We similarly, it's funny, we're looking at an investment in a totally different end market, but it's similar to this, where you could apply it to 3 or 4 or 5 different industries or end markets. And that's been part of the problem, is like, this first round that they're raising, it's actually the second round, but it's after their seed to get the tech out of the lab. It's like, what are we going to do next, right? So it's to Garth's point about you and the team, like, hey, I've got this team of 4, and we're raising $500,000 to go prove, that the legal patent space is a viable space, and we think we can put 10 or 20 million bucks of revenue up on the board. And like, I think your credibility factor goes up tremendously, because at that point we can talk about like what you and the team are going to do versus attack the $36 billion market, which is a great vision, but anyone can go say it. So anyway, that's all I had. But
one last thing, did I see on your chart that you brought in $1.5 million?
No, so that's our projected. So we came off of a team where we, so in about a year, I built a product that went from 0 to 2 with the same pipeline. So we're projecting 1.5 on this in about a year. So so that was a projection.
No, I get it. If you had brought in 1.5 million, I would be like, my name is Nils and I brought in $1.5 million, and here's how I did it.
Yeah, I'll talk to you in March.
Awesome. Garth, Mark, thank you guys so much. Nils, congrats. Good pitch.